Good evening and welcome to another episode of GLP-1 with an ostomy. Well, you guys, finally that 14th day hit at 12 midnight today. And right at 12, I got that name corrected because y'all know I had it as GPL1. So now it's GLP-1, and I see that there's a couple of new members or subscribers here. Welcome to those of you who have subscribed. Feel free to comment or introduce yourself. Right now, I'm in the waiting phase, you guys. I know I qualify. In fact, let me bring you up to speed on everything that has happened in the past few days. I just hadn't come on because I'm still waiting, and I thought maybe I would know something by now. But what happened was I ended up, because the pharmacy, I called them to check the status this past Monday because the weekend had went by and everything, and I kind of didn't expect them to have any updates or anything because of the weekend, because everything was turned in. My doctor needed to submit the prior authorization and the corrected thing for the Medicare Bridge, which is the Quick Pen. Okay, to recap, my doctor on the day of, because I made my appointment as soon as I found out about this bridge program, so I went in on the 9th of July. He wrote the prescription. His secretary, I told y'all about her, not wanting to do the pre-auth and the work and stuff, and she was being negative Nancy and saying, "You're not going to be approved." I was like, you don't even know what the program is about. I knew she didn't know. Anytime she's jumping up saying that, I told her I qualify, so I should be approved if you write the prescription correctly as the doctor has instructed. And so he was, he had told her, what to put on there and everything while I was standing there, and then he went on in the other room. Anyway, so she did it. So then I had told her, once you submit the prescription, you won't have to do anything else. I was like, the rest is up to the pharmacist. So you won't have all that work that you're complaining about. I was like, and besides, it's your job, even if you did have to do it. Good thing I said that, because I had to eat humble crow, as y'all saw in the past video with that title, because as it turns out, the pre-auth did have to be submitted by the doctor, which meant she had to do it. And so what happened was she had received that information about the pre-auth, and this was last Tuesday. She received that information on last Monday, the 13th. Tuesday, the 14th, the doctor calls me frantic because they're closed on Wednesday, so they were going to be closed Wednesday the 15th, and Medicare said that it had to be submitted by 10 a.m. on Thursday. So that meant they had to rush and do it. And so then she's sitting up there with the excuses, talking about, well, I don't have my glasses, I can't see. He said, get up. So he started typing the information, and he had her to talk to me on the phone to get the information. Well, I guess it's to my understanding that it was submitted. So in the meantime, on Friday, and this is where I'm catching you up, you don't know anything about this, I received a letter from my insurance, not the Medicare, but my what's it called? Optimum RX. That's my I have Medicare Plus Blue, but my insurance separately for all my maintenance prescriptions and whatnot, it comes through Optimum RX, which is through my Medicare Blue. So I only pay per month for all my other prescriptions unless it's a specialty, like my MS. I'm not on MS meds right now, but when I was on the ostomy meds, when I was on the MS meds, when I was on the UC meds, those are considered specialty, or I guess formulary. I don't know what they call them, but my copay was topped off at $40 a month. That's the most I had to pay, $42 a month. So for anything like that, I had to pay $42 a month. Right now, I'm not paying anything. But for my regular meds, like my blood pressure, cholesterol, and all that, for a 90-day supply, each 90 days, I only pay $5 for my medicine, which is good. So because he did not put quick pen on the prescription, it went through my regular insurance and it didn't go through the Medicare bridge or anything like that. So they sent me a denial letter, and I already knew why. I knew from the beginning. I was like, it wasn't even supposed to go here, but I knew why, because he had submitted it as a regular prescription. So anyway, so they sent this denial letter, but then, and so in the meantime, I was like, let me make sure here. So I called my insurance, and I was like, I understand that through the Medicare Bridge program, it's a different entity. And so the Medicare Bridge lady, because I had called my insurance and they gave me the direct number to the Medicare Bridge program. So when someone answered the phone, which took forever, I think 15 minutes. But once someone answered the phone, it was someone through the bridge program. And so she told me, she's like, no, it went through your regular insurance because he didn't, write the prescription the correct way. Our department is totally different. And so then she explained the process. She said he's going to need to start over. I said that was done. I was like, and it was submitted on yesterday. It was due on what day was that? The 15th, that Thursday. And I talked to her the next day, Friday. I was like, it was submitted yesterday. I said, and it was due by 10 a.m. She said, okay. She was like, so did he write it for the quick pen? She went down this whole list. And I was like, yep. So everything that she asked, I was able to answer with certainty. So she said, they might request another pre-auth. She was like, but if they kept the other one on file, they will use that. So I was like, that's what I kind of figured. And so she was like, good. She was like, now, she said that I would receive a letter. She said, first of all, an approval letter will go to my physician saying that I was approved for it. And then she said, then it would go to the pharmacy and then they would fill the prescription. She said, and then I will get a letter probably after them stating that I'm approved through Lilly. What's the name of that company? Lilly Pharmaceuticals or whatever. But whoever makes Zepbound, the makers. She said I would receive a letter stating that I was approved for the Medicare Bridge program, blah, 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 blah. And so she said, give it a little time. She said, we are swamped now. I was like, yeah, I missed the golden window of opportunity. I said, I initially went for this at the beginning. I was like, but a lot of people didn't know about the program. I didn't find out about it until the 25th of June myself. So a lot of people who actually qualify or want to at least attempt to qualify, knowing good and well they probably don't, but why not? Nothing beats a failure but a try. A lot of people who are already on the meds and paying for the meds and paying these high copays felt that perhaps they qualified, and some of them probably do. So now they're sorting through all of that information. So it's now taking longer, whereas my pharmacist told me at the beginning, he's like, within 3 days, we have our answer. He said it's a very fast process. Well, it's not fast now. That's the end of it, okay? So now it's slow. So it's been a week because today is Friday, and I have the app to my pharmacy, and so I can pull up the app and look at the anything that's pending that needs refilling, or if there's anything ready or whatever, it comes up on the app once I type in my PIN. Well, for the Zepbound, it's still saying, it's not saying pending, it's saying doctor, it says something about the doctor, I forget. But yesterday when I went to Myers, I stopped by the pharmacy and I asked them what all that meant. And so it was explained to me that they said that is basically the doctor is waiting on the decision as to whether or not I'm approved. And so I told him, I was like, I missed the window of opportunity last week because of that fatal mistake. I said, so now it's going to take a while. I said, I talked to the Medicare Bridge lady and she told me that they're swamped. They have to go through all these, applications, make determinations. She was like, we're moving as fast as we can, but it's going to take a minute. So the clock is ticking. you know. So I'm not going to complain. I'm just waiting. Hopefully they will approve it. There's only one thing that could knock me out. One thing. Remember I told y'all that I was approved for Ozempic? Well, in my app, I was able to look. No one called me. I didn't hear from the pharmacist. I didn't even have the app back then, and that was last November when my doctor did it, and then the pre-auth and all that. The nurse never called. No one ever called to not the nurse, the secretary never called. No one ever called to tell me that medicine had been approved with probably, I doubt if it would be the $42 copay. More than likely it's going to be the $500 because I don't know. But if they pre-authorized it, it might be $42. But I really don't want to do Ozempic. And plus, the prescription is almost up because that was approved back in November. So we're looking at only like 4 or 5 months to begin with, unless the doctor does a refill. And once you have your prior authorization, you have it. So if that's the case, and if they tell me it's $42 a month, and it could be because all specialty meds are $42 a month for me. So if that's the case, that would be cheaper, to tell you the truth, than the Zepbound. But I would prefer to go on the Zepbound, and I would prefer the injection. This was for, I believe, the Ozempic pill, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been for the injection. I can't remember. But anyway, that's the one thing that might knock me out, because if they happen to look through the history and see, oh, she was approved for Ozempic, why is she trying to get Zepbound? But I'm quite sure if they look through that and see that, they're going to see, well, she never had the prescription filled. Why not? So then they're going to, question that. And then, if they ask me, or if they ask the doctor or whatever, and if I'm asked, I'm going to let them know I didn't even know I was approved. That's why. So they might say, well, we're not approving you because you already have approval or whatever. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen, to tell you the truth. I'm just praying about it. I hope I'm approved. And in the meantime, I'm steadily prepping, So I went to the Goodwill the other day, just wanted to show you. And I said, well, whether I'm approved or not, let's say I don't go on a GLP. Oh, something's going to happen, okay? Even if it's the Ozempic. But let's say they say you're not approved or whatever. I was like, I can still follow it, because the ostomy is to my advantage. The fact that I can't take in as much food to begin with. My problem, I told y'all what my problem is, sweets. That is my problem, numero uno. And the fact that I'm usually up all night. I'm a night owl because I have seasonal affective disorder year round, because I used to work midnights years ago, and it changed my circadian rhythm, and it has not corrected. And I really suffer in the winter. I sleep all day and I'm up all night. But even if I'm up at night eating and I'm sleep, well, right now I'm not sleeping during the day. It's like I'm going on very little sleep. Okay, I had to pause because a screen call was coming through and it didn't hang me up, which it normally does. It would have knocked me off. But anyway, I'll get to that bridge when I cross it this winter. That's why I said with the Zepbound, pending that I'm approved, I'm probably going to do the intermittent fasting, because you can pick your time. You just have to do, your eating within a certain window. And so I could easily do that easily. And so I was like, well, I was at the Goodwill and I was like, I was just looking through stuff, and look what I found, y'all, for a few dollars. I was like, these big giant cast iron skillets that I'm using right now isn't gonna do, for something small, that I'm cooking in the skillet, no matter what it is, this is the perfect size. Then I already had a couple of small pots, but I found this one. So this is a nice, little pot. Actually, it might still be too big or whatever for a vegetable, or if I'm, making something. So I said, okay, anytime I see like a little utensil or little pots and pans or whatever, I'm going to just get them. And the same, I'm going to buy some toddler dishes. We use those for my late mother, but they're kind of wonky now. They're old. So I'm going to get rid of those and then buy me some new ones for portion control and stuff. So whether I'm on the medication or not, that's my strategy. And then, of course, you know that I'm in the program. I said I can go on and start that now while I'm waiting. You know, going to the gym, take the classes and whatnot. I could, what am I waiting on? You know, I may as well go on and do that now while I have the opportunity to do it. You know, why waste time? So, and then I started drinking more water. So this is a 40-ounce Stanley cup. I think I mentioned before that this was, I know I have a 64. I think I had said that this was I forgot the size, but I was incorrect, whatever size I said. This is a 40-ounce. Okay, so 2 of these a day would be 80 ounces. So that at least puts me over the 64. I've been drinking. One day I drank 3 because it was so hot. We were in the middle of a heat wave and I was just guzzling water, electrolytes, and everything else. Those few days that we were, you know, that we hit into the triple digits, which is rare for us here in Michigan. You know, the highest we usually get, we consider 80, 85 a heat wave, okay? So we get into the triple digits right now. The past couple of days, we've been at 74 degrees. Today, I think we hit 80. I'm currently in the greenhouse. It's 85 in here. I have it opened up with the door and all that. And it's still 85 in here, but it's actually cooler. It's much cooler outside. I came in here to plant my fall and winter garden seeds. So this is a first for me with this greenhouse. So I just went on and sold them in here to start my seeds. And then I got a gooseberry plant today, and I have another one on the way. And what else? Just a few little things I needed to piddle paddle with. So I'm in here right now, getting ready to do a little bit of crocheting. So today is she shed day. I couldn't sit in here when it was hot. It was just too hot to sit in here. But on days like this or nice, you know, cool evenings, I sit out here and I'll crochet, or, you know, I'll film a garden video, or, and a crochet video, because I have a crochet channel and I also have a gardening channel. Yep. So anyway, let's see, what else? So that's it as far as the updating is concerned. So y'all just keep me in prayer that they'll approve it and that I'll hear something from them. It's Friday, so I'm assuming unless they sent the letter out this weekend, or if something pops up, then my pharmacist told me just keep checking every day. And he said, we'll call you too. He said, we'll hear from your doctor, but he was like, once your prescription is ready, we will call you. And so it'll hit you as a surprise if you don't already know that you're approved. He was like, you just get a call from us out of the blue, letting you know your prescription is ready. So I was like, okay, well, that's good to know. So anyway, and then he told me too, he was like, you can also call your doctor. I was like, I'm trying to not bother him right now, but I will next week if I don't hear anything by Tuesday. I'll give it to Tuesday. And if I don't hear anything from him or anything by Tuesday, then I'll give him a call to see if he submitted everything. I'm quite sure he did, because on the pharmacist end, it shows that the doctor, you know, it says that, whatever that said about the doctor, it lets us know that he did, the pharmacist confirmed that he did do whatever it was he was supposed to do. So he's just waiting, you know, we're just waiting, basically. So I'll just be patient and keep waiting and keep doing what I'm doing on this end. So I'll probably, well, Monday, I'll call the class thing and get scheduled, because I still need to do orientation. You have to go in, do your orientation, then they decide which class they're going to put you in. You know, you choose your time, your day and all that, or days, because I think we meet 2 or 3 times a week. And then, because you meet, one day you meet with the dietitian, that's just class. And then the other days, I think it's 3 days a week. The other days you're doing your exercising and things like that with the personal trainer. So, yep. So anyway, I would have to do orientation first, where they'll come. I'll meet all the people who are involved with it, you know, the instructors, that is. And then I would see what, equipment is there. They'll determine, what I can do and all that stuff. So she told me the orientation lasts about an hour. So I'm getting ready to get that scheduled, and then I can do that while I'm waiting too. Alrighty, I feel like I'm rambling again. So again, welcome new subscribers, and I'm glad I got the lettering right with this. So hopefully others will subscribe, especially those with ostomies. And if you don't have an ostomy, we're going to be talking a lot about the ostomy and how it works and how I think it's going to be to my advantage once I am on the GLP-1. Because I can't take in as much food because of the ostomy, and I no longer have a colon. I just have the upper part that comes out through the ostomy. I have to do nutrients and whatnot because I don't absorb as much. Technically, I should be as skinny as I was after I had that surgery. But like I said, the sweets. So if I can get something to shut that off, that alone is half the battle for me. So if I go slow, that's fine, because that's what I'm trying to do anyway. I'm not trying to drop like that. I've been there, done that with the ostomy surgery. Remember I told y'all what happened? And that was no fun. I lost muscle mass and everything else. And I was weak, had to be rehabbed. So no, I'm not trying to lose it fast. I want to lose it at a steady pace, but it doesn't have to be, 20 pounds in a month or anything like that. I just want it to go slow and steady. And I think once the food noise is shut off and I stop the sweets, I think that's what's going to happen. I'm going to just start to shrink, hopefully. We'll see. Well, we will see. Y'all as well as me. So I decided I'm not going to do before pictures because I'm on video just about daily. So that's my before, okay? I might do a picture at some point. Maybe each month I might have my sister or somebody to do a snapshot, or I might do a selfie each month. Because they say if you do a before picture and compare each month, they say you can see the difference. Otherwise, you get that brain thing that makes you think that you're still larger or whatever. So I've done that before, and it didn't never bother me. I knew I was getting smaller, shoot. I could see it and feel it and everything else, So, all them other times, I never did have body dysphoria or whatever that mess is called. Shoot, I'd pass a mirror and be like, is that me? Wow. But, and it's the same when you gain too. You pass a mirror and you like, oh my God. But anyway, okay, I'm just rambling now because I'm sitting up here trying to crochet and talk at the same time. I'm working on a shawl, and for those of you, if you crochet, this is called the Agatha reading shawl, and the person who did the tutorial, her name is Ophelia Talks. That's the name of her YouTube channel, and it's like a partial hexagon or partial octagon stitch. Very easy. I know it by heart now. I've made so many because I've given a couple away. Let's see. I have two that I made with chunky yarn. This one is with a double-stranded yarn. It's not as chunky as the other ones, but I'm working it. I'm actually reworking this one because I had used a bigger hook with it, and I wanted it to be made with a smaller hook. So I took it down, and now I'm reworking it, and I like this pink. So anyway, so this will be probably for next spring or something like that. So yep, so I'll sit out here and work on this a little bit more. And so that's it, you guys. I'm gonna get off of here. I've been on here long enough. So let me know, how has your week gone? How are you doing on Zepbound or whatever GLP-1 that you're on? Let me know if you have an ostomy. Those of you who are new, introduce yourself. Let's yip yap. Let's chat while I'm waiting. So I will keep you updated on everything as soon as I know something. Actually, I'm quite sure I'll be back on whether I know something or not next week, because I will be calling Monday to schedule, so I can at least let y'all know when I go to the facility, to the gym. I don't know if they let people film in the gym. I don't think I've ever seen films of someone in a gym. They may not allow phones or whatever in there, for filming. So if they do, hey, I'll at least show it to you or whatever. But if they don't, then I won't. But at least I could let you know what it's all about and what, you know, what happened, because I really don't know what to expect. I know what it's about and know what's going to happen, but I don't know what to expect. I don't know how the class looks. I don't know, you know, anything. So we'll see the setup, that type of thing. So I will keep you updated on everything. So I will talk to you guys later, and may God bless you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. See you next week. Bye-bye.